We are we're in the last little stretch here. This is going to be the last live that I do today. I just put my clothes on to wash, or to dry, I should say. And when that's done, I'm done. Let's see where we left off here. I want this alarm to really work. So we're going to spend some time in this, and it may be not glamorous to walk through this part. So I fully understand people who don't want to stick around, especially for this. Because this one's going to be more logic based. And it's all going to be coming from this var or variable template. It's a component of hats. And I think it comes in as an integration. Yeah. Home Assistant variable component. Let's see. Any of these is better for me. No clue. So we're going to try to make this one work. I know it can work because I have used it before. I don't know why. Every time I hop in here, I just scroll up the options to see if I see one that I want. I'm going to exit out of that. I'm going to take another look at my old GitHub here. So let's try it this way. I'm going to build out a template here. And paste the template in. I think we need to change our % to a double curly bracket. Okay, so I don't have an input boolean called Ashley Home, but I'm about to. And don't ask me, well, you can ask me why, but I always step back and look at the documentation because there are 50 million things about Home Assistant and I don't know them all. So I think this is one of those times where I can actually go use the helper. I'm trying to get out of hard coding everything. So let's come and create a helper. We'll call it Ashley Home and create. And we'll come over here and create an automation. Says, I just want to start with an empty. trigger device. Well, you know what? I don't want to use my phone. I want to use hmm my person. So I need to change this. I go to. So for me, home is not always home. Um, see. Wow, my longitude and latitude show there. And I didn't want it to. So here we go. Sometimes, Lord Jesus, I'm just getting it from every section. I can't avoid it right now. Um, if my home is that for can I just put 10 minutes in here like that? Let's see. What if I for 10 minutes, then I don't know why I keep going to device. I don't know, call service is so much easier for me. Um, automation turn on. And why is that the only one that I have as an option? Oh, because it's not an automation, it's a helper. Input boolean turn on. Ashley Home. All right, let's see. Ashley Home is on. See the history of it. And it just turned on and it's sitting on. So, then logically speaking, in my var, I should be able to go. Ashley Home equals on, armed. Fingers crossed. Can we cross some fingers on this one? Let's check everything and restart. And once again, I think when you change something on your variable template, you have to restart. And let's see. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Nope, I'm still sitting in unknown. Hmm. This one's gonna take a bit longer. Hmm. If blah blah blah. Selecting entity values using templates. Templates can be used with variables to set servers, to selected entity IDs, and to set an attribute. So I'm trying to make my data change actually happen. Oh God, this is getting on my goddamn nerves. Oh, I'm about to turn off this extension. I'm trying to make the change happen here, and it is not. So let me take one hop over into the actual Home Assistant forum and search the var. See what they give me. Need help? Yes, do. So I have not actually been in this in a long time. If states, let's see if this is even coming out to be true, which it should. And at this point, you should somewhat just be used to me hopping around. Input boolean. Okay, so states are saying that my Ashley Home input boolean is not on, and it is not. If I were to turn it on, do update here to true? Yes. If I go to state and but I'm still sitting at unknown. Damn it. Hmm. Ashley home and put boolean var dot home alarm, which is definitely what it's called, right? Var dot home underscore alarm. Yes. Okay. Just came in hard, set the state here. Of course, it's gonna do what I tell it to do. Um, since this have a unique ID. See that related? No. So here's just setting attributes, obviously. Um, man, this is gonna drive me insane. Let's see what my formatting is over here that may be off. Value template aligned, maybe? Is that my issue? Do I need to have a friendly name? I don't feel like I have to have a friendly name. What else? Everything else here I did have a friendly name, so maybe I need that? I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. Let's restart and see. I swear, if it's just that I didn't have a friendly name, my feelings are gonna be hurt. Let's see. So I'm just gonna take this moment to say I do Home Assistant because it's fun. I do Home Assistant because I like it. Um, I don't know how to code anything. I have a general understanding of how things should probably work, but some of these things that I do, I'd love to be able to make into cards or whatever, but I don't know how. And that's just the case. And I don't really have time to teach myself how to. Okay. After I hard set this, does it ever get unset? I guess not, because I hard set this yesterday and it hasn't changed. Um, so I guess the only way to test is to turn my input boolean off. Let's see if that state changed. And it did not. We are still coming out with nothing. Let me double check some of my old automations to see if this is where the magic happened. Service turn on Boolean. Yeah, all these did was turn Booleans on and off. It looks like. Reset alarms. Let's hop into my old scripts if I have them. I do not. But none of these actually did the logic. The logic was done here, and I'm about sure that it was done here. And for anyone who, this is boring for, I totally get that. Um, Trust me, I totally get that. But this is a part of the process when you're making something that did not exist before. It's a lot of screwing things up and things not working out and still trying to figure out why and what you need to do. You can spend, unfortunately, an hour right here sometimes. And I'm just praying to God that that's not what I have to do today because I don't want to. Let's see if anyone has any suggestions. Yes, Home Assistant is not just something that you're gonna hop in day one and get and understand, and it never be, an issue for you. It's gonna take time. And what's crazy is some days things will work great for you, and then the next day it'll implode, completely implode. Um, Thought I had a window open. Here we go. Trying to see if I see anyone else who kind of templates their variables the way that I do. And variable, calculate out, choose a variable and set it to the value of an input number, but I got stuck. So essentially what I want to do is to create an icon or create an entity from the variable component. And this entity, the state of this entity will change depending on the logic that I set here. So if I am home, or if this input boolean equals on, which means I am home, then this variable state will be armed. If this input boolean is off and I'm away, and if it's anything else, then unarmed. So the entities that should be tracked to get this is the actual entity that I'm working with and the input boolean that I'm working with. I'm hoping that makes logical sense to anyone else who's watching. Let's see. And if not, tell me where I've lost you on it. So here we go right here. Waldo location status, whatever. Variable template if blah 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 and blah 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 blah, then home, if else unknown. So we are just going to copy this and go the long way around. So I copy this directly from, maybe that's it. Do I need, no, because if I needed spacing here, then it wouldn't show up at all. So here we go. I need to get my device tracker entity. So we'll take this one. And let's see. See, this one's finicky because I go back and forth from between being home and not necessarily being home. Because I live at this location, so it's the same thing. But for the sake of this, let's go back to that documentation over here just to see if they have, here we go, the tracked entities. Sometimes it's starting all the way from square one and pulling exactly what they have in the template. I don't know why I just did that. Let's pull exactly what they have in the template. Insert our own information just so we can get it to work. Or hopefully get it to work. And go from there. Of course, it still copied everything. So the only thing that I've changed here so far are the devices and what they should be. Let's restart. One thing you'll notice is once I get something to work, it is copy and paste from there on out from that entity because I won't be doing this consistently. Just all the time tweaking little micro tweaks here and there. No. Get one thing working, make all your micro tweaks to that one thing, and then move on. Let's see. I think it's called like Waldo. Nope, I'm still sitting at location unknown. Ignore these. These are manually changed. But yeah, it's not pulling for me. It's not doing what was supposed to be done. And so essentially, what I wanted was to be able to dynamically change this. This is my alarm status. I wanted to be able to dynamically change. If I'm home, this right here is going to say I'm home, or that, my husband's home, or that everyone's home, or that, the house is empty. And this would change based on this. And it would change because once I got the value templating to work where the actual status changed, then I could go through and change the actual picture entity. So, okay, well, if it is home, then this is what I wanted to show. If it's something else and I wanted to show this, and then track all of that. Let's see. This is breaking my heart. Let's double check our sensors. Usually when I need something to work, I'm not coming off of it. So it's definitely okay if you want to tap out here. And then one templating, I think the curly brackets here, the what you call them, percentages come out, and then so device tracker. So these two things are false according to this. So device tracker, Ashley's iPhone. What are we looking at on there? That is set to home. And device tracker, Ashley's iPad is set to make sure of those. So let's copy that and then cut it. I swear if this is one of those situations where I spelled something wrong, I'm going to be annoyed. Why is this giving me false? So someone asked, isn't it much easier to use Node-RED? I hate Node-RED. You'll probably never in life see me in Node-RED. I hate Node-RED. I honestly prefer to do all of this than to use Node-RED. I don't have it even installed on here. I legitimately, it's not for me. And it's for some people, but it is not for me. And that is okay. It's just not my cup of tea in any way, shape, or form. I'm not understanding the false. So we will hard copy. On this false. Let's see. Even to the iPhone. I'm saying false. Okay. So let's just copy me as a person. And even if it is easier to do in Node-RED, I need to figure out templating in a way that works for me. In a way that I'm able to kind of do what I need to do here. Because something else with templating is going to come up sooner or later. Mhm. It's not that. Mm. I think they said they kind of don't want you using this. Yeah. So it needs to be equals equals. At this point, I'm literally just trying to get any true statement that I possibly can. Even here, just is this input boolean false? Nope. It's telling me nope. It's telling me that it's undefined. So template state Ashley input boolean equals off. Template listen for the following change of events at here. So they're finding the entity. And let's see what my charging status is. Sensor.Ashley battery state charging equals not charging. So if I come here, there has to be something going on here that I'm not seeing. So the title of this stream is going to be changed over to just like templating troubleshooting, because that's literally all I'm going to get to in this. So let's see if I need to kick this over to using is state. And let's bring this back to something relatively simple. So is state parentheses. Boom. So went through some troubleshooting, but is state, and then the statement looks like what needs to be used instead of whatever else. So let's hop over here. Back into templating and see for my if statements. If states that is it a situation where I don't need to use? I think some of these things are what happens when variables don't get updated the way that the system gets updated. So like I don't think I need to use some of these operators anymore. Or it may even be something like that. Let me give this one more test out here. Yep. So that equal sign is what threw every single thing off. And this is kind of where you can sit for forever. And then find the thing that fixes your problem. So if state input boolean is on, if else, so fingers crossed that that was my issue. We'll go ahead and restart. And if it was my issue, then we're really good. Let's see how long we've been on this live so far. We've been on here for almost an hour. It's taken me almost an hour to figure that out. Hopefully. I keep saying that as if it's a done deal. Nope. At this point, I'm just trying anything. So yeah, if states is not a thing. Not like that. I was just checking. If we start. Hmm. I really hope my little Raspberry Pi doesn't combust with how much I restart my system. If I could just give up, I would. But I can't. So I'm changing it over to unarmed for the moment, manually. That way, if I get it working, it should pop up being armed. So is this state whatever, whatever, whatever? Yes. For if statements, for filtering, if expressions can be used with and or not. This is a part of the extends and a whole nother section of like templating. So if I created like this and this to be like a structural component that I don't want to change over multiple pages, then I can create this and then extend it to other pages without having to redo this code on every page. And once I get things working, I may look into figuring out how to do that. But right now, in this complicated world of Jinja, I am looking for comparisons that can get me an outcome. And it's none of those. Let's go back up to this other board. And I guess it is operators, but it needs to be an if statement. I'm heartbroken on this one, you guys. Oh, they asked what Lovelace cards I'm using. Here we go. So these are ones that I have installed, but the main ones that I've used so far is the state element. And the basis of everything, pretty much everything in my Home Assistant, is a picture elements card. And then I just created a background that was however big on my Affinity Designer. Everything else that you see is an element on my picture elements section. So most of them are just elements that are stacked. So my first element is my whole clock section, which is up here. I have a little toggle here that's going to do other stuff later. But comes in with the time, and I use that custom state element that I have installed from Hacks. And I just pulled the uh, sensor time. And I blocked this part out so the 12-hour time wouldn't show, but it's just that simple to make a changeover. And why I like this is because I just changed that entity and all my spacing and everything else just kind of stays the same. So I really like that. And then continuing down, custom state element, it's an AM/PM sensor that I have. And then the state icon element, which is just a toggle for that alarm. And if we keep coming down, we have like this media selection area that I have here. And pretty much this is just an icon. What is it called? A state icon. And I don't have any other states to it, but that icon is set to do input select previous on the input select room media that I have. And then I just rotated it 90 degrees so that it comes that way. And when you tap it, it seems like it's controlling this, but this is just, once again, that custom state element that just tells me what state this input select is on. But it all looks super cohesive. And what'll end up happening is I'll create a condition card that exists here, and it'll show one set of parameters if the condition is one thing, and another set of parameters once I click it over and it's something else. And a big part of what those parameters can adjust is this variable section here. So when my Harmony Hub was working, of course, with the Harmony Hub, each device gets a device number. And so if I had TV selected, then the device number that would be sent into the Harmony Hub every time I tap something would be the device number I had for TV. But if I hit that button over and Sonos was selected, then the device number that would be sent to the Harmony Hub would be the device number for my Sonos. And that way, I'm not hopping back and forth from pages, but it all just kind of happened dynamically. And I'm just trying to rebuild some of the things that I had before. Um, my husband and I made a pretty big move, and I had to break down everything I had in Home Assistant. And when I got here, I just upgraded or updated everything. Excuse me. I updated everything, and now some of the things that I used before that worked with no problems, just they're giving me nothing but problems. Hmm. You must not add white space between tags and minus. Okay. So once again, I'm just back in here trying to see if I can figure out what's going on with these variable templates, and what about it I'm just not understanding. Mm, so that's not what I feel like I'm looking for. Let's try state object. Example, kitchen light, state domain, state object ID. And once again, I'm sorry if I get quiet here, but I am trying to just figure this out. The front end has a template error. Yep, I've been trying to use it. So I figured out my template in here and why I wasn't getting a true reading. It doesn't like the equals anymore. That is not going to make it happy. So I don't understand if what I'm getting here is the new correct way to template or not. Because what I need is if states. fact, let's just back all of this up and see if I can get any kind of a readout here. If I can get a win on this, then maybe I can start backtracking to figure out what's stopping it from spitting out the information the way that I need it in that comparative way. So we've got some things going, and which one is this? The Waldo. Once again, this Waldo thing isn't necessarily a real one. Nope, that location, that status is still saying unknown. Still a hard one here just to see, and nope, we're still getting unknown. I swear. If it's that, if it is that, nope, because I'm getting an error. Yep, value template and track need to go on the same line, it looks like. Where did I get off from here? I got in my own way for a minute and I need to get back to this repo. Need to come all the way down. So I should just be able to set a value template, a value to a template like this. Do I need the quotes around everything? Do I have the quotes around everything? I'm just looking for any potential reason why this would be off kilter. It sucks so much because sometimes things are just spacing. And then other times it's like, nope, it's actually a mistake. And you actually need to figure out what that mistake is. And then this little stupid thing pops up. And it won't stop popping up. My spacing here was all off anyway. Mm-mm-mm. Yes, I have a feeling that part of my problem May have been that my tracked entity wasn't in the right spot. If stuff starts working right now, I'm gonna be so depressed. But I still want it to work. Fingers crossed. Maybe. Actually, I think I want them all. Still not looking like yes. All right. Well, this live looks like it may have been a failure. But I think I'm going to keep on working on this off live to see if I can get it figured out. See if it's from like just having spacing issues or if it's something else that I'm just not seeing. And then I'll come back if I figure it out. Well, anyway, you guys have a good night. And I'll probably be back at least two more times in this coming week whenever my son goes to take a nap. Thank you. Have a good one.